Hi everyone, welcome to the MViQ Plus OS4.10 launch event. My name is Megan Friedrichs from Waygate Technologies, here with Tom Danvers. We are excited to share some of the exciting things coming to the MViQ Plus early next year. Tom, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everybody, yes, thank you for joining today. My name is Tom Danvers from Waygate Technologies. I'm the digital product manager for all things that you see on the MViQ Plus today. So hello from me.
If you have any questions during the event, please feel free to ask them and we will address as many as we can at the end. If you want to move to the next slide. As a reminder, the Mentor Visual IQ was launched in 2014 and has become the most popular video borescope for aerospace engine inspections. From the start, the team has always been focused on accurate measurement, workflow automation, and user experience. Earlier this year, we launched the MViQ Plus, providing a step change in technological possibilities to the iconic Mentor Visual IQ platform. Over the years, building upon the legacy of 3D phase measurement for accurate sentencing and menu-directed inspection, the MViQ Plus is enabling customers to standardize and automate inspection workflows and leverage AI technology to increase productivity without compromising accuracy. Through InspectionWorks, our NDT cloud solution, streamlined data flow, and standardized inspection data can now lead to valuable insights for OEMs and operators. Today, we're thrilled to share with you the latest innovations coming to the MViQ Plus with OS Release 4.10, the biggest single software release in the history of the Mentor Visual IQ platform. The team is continuing to advance in defect detection, automatic measurements, and more, ensuring the most advanced video borescope on the market keeps getting smarter. Today, we're going to give an overview with OS 4.10, go over how to get the software, and describe some of our options to minimize cost of ownership. Do you want to move to the next slide? Okay. Now I'll hand it over to Tom to dive deeper into the features.
Yeah, thank you very much. So today we'll be taking you through essentially these chapters. There's actually more included in the release, but these are our headline features. So I'm taking you through an updated, you may have seen, we've had press releases leading up to this event where we've announced an update to GasParAssist. So that's one of our assisted defect recognition analytics. So we've made an update to that. So we'll take you through that. Lots to talk about under real 3D measurement enhancements. You can see the snapshot on the right-hand side where we've got a new measurement type. I'll take you through a practical demo. If you've joined my webinars before, I kind of like to do a bit of a demo to show you the real features on the device, live on the device. So we'll take you through some demo features associated with the real 3D content, and then continue on and talking through turning tool updates. We've got a new way, an updated protocol upon which we communicate to the Rinstyle turning tool, and we can take you through that. New languages we're releasing and new commands to enhance the voice command control that we have on the MViQ Plus. Before rounding off and talking about menu-directed inspections. There's some updates, some interesting, useful productivity updates associated with MDI. So let's get started. GasParAssist. So this was released back in, I think it was basically 2022. Back in those days, it was called LM2500 Assist because there was lots of data associated with the LM2500s and other LM series aeroderivative gas turbine engines. Since those years, we've updated and enhanced the analytic in terms of its performance to detect and categorize defects. And probably it was about a year ago, we kind of actually changed the name to where you see today, GasParAssist, because lots of data from other engine types, namely within the aviation industry, were also included in the training of the analytic. To where we are now, we're releasing GasParAssist version 5.0. And as you'd expect, as we release new updates, the performance increases. And we've also, in this release, improved the detection and tracking facility that we have on the analytic. So a little bit more detail here. Lots of data has been included in this version. We're now up to version 5.0, up to version 5. This is just a still image showing obviously a compressor blade with some nicks and dents. This particular image I've chosen to show briefly, just to sort of highlight the fact that this contains a lot of data consisting of very, very small defects, dents and nicks, for instance. We've partnered with GE Aerospace and included a lot of data from the GE NX engine type within the HP compressors, so that those components you'll appreciate contain lots of dents and nicks as opposed to other defect types. So the ability to detect those features in those types of components within the compressor stages has been much improved in version 5. It remains as one model, so it's still the same engine model as it was before, in as much that it's suitable, appropriate for LP compressor or the booster. IP compressor, it's a 3-shaft engine through to the HP compressor, plus the combustion and turbine stages. It remains generic because it includes lots of data from lots of different engine types. So it still remains one analytic for front to rear inspections. As you've heard me mention earlier, we've also improved the tracking. So the frame rate upon which a bounding box and the defect classification label snaps to the defect and tracks across the image as that blade, for instance, or your probe is moving, is a lot faster than it was in the previous version, actually twice as fast as it was before. We're leveraging the processing capability that we now have on the MViQ Plus. And lastly, but not least, we've separated, up until the previous version, which was 4.1, we had the classification combined with dent and nick. So that is now separated in this version moving on. So we now have, rather than 8, we have 9 defect classifications. Those are erosion, rub, TBC loss, dent, nick, obviously, tear, crack, oxidation, and deposit. So that's 9 separate classifications now. And we're basically up to what started out to be approximately 5,000 images on version 1 from memory. I think it was around that order. We're now exceeding 35,000 images that are contained within our model. It's contained within our model. Basically, those are the images that were used to train the model with all of those defect types that you just heard me mention. Real 3D measurement updates. So a new area measurement called auto area and Li3D Stereo I want to take you through now. So what we have here is a new button on the measurement page called auto area. I'll take you through it shortly on the borescope. What it does is enables you to measure the area, as you can see on this frame. So on the left-hand side, you see a value associated with the total area, in this case 896 square millimeters, you can see, and then 3 area measurements below it. So those are representing 3 isolated or separate area measurements in this case, and those can be easily generated using this new feature, or auto area. We have now the ability to scan the image for texture or contrast. This is based on artificial intelligence, but it's not using the images that we are processing or you will be processing on your borescope. So here is obviously a picture of a HP turbine nozzle guide vane. And with the use of the model in the background behind auto area, it's able to identify areas of high contrast. And using the tools that we've generated on our borescope, it will draw a perimeter around each of those areas of interest and correspond that perimeter to an area measurement based on the data contained in that image, whether it's a 3D phase measurement image or a 3D stereo image. In other words, it needs to be a real 3D measurement image for this to work. So it's a rapid way of generating an area measurement. And as you can see, multiple area measurements can be generated, up to actually 5 different area measurements, plus the total area. So it's a really good way of not just doing those measurements, but showing to your customers or to others where you share these images to, perhaps in your inspection reports, for instance, you can correspond which color corresponds to which segment or portion of the image that you're measuring. So this is a short video clip. I'll be essentially kind of duplicating this, but talking about this a little bit more on the practical demo. So this is, you'll recognize a picture of a leading edge of a turbine blade. I press the auto area. These are the three tools that you have available to you on your borescope: single select, auto box, and a manual draw / erase. So depending on the image and the contrast and the texture within that image will depend on how successful or which tool you are most appropriate to apply this area measurement to. So you've seen me select the box tool and essentially draw that box around those two areas of missing material. So you can see the blue area measurement on the top left-hand side of the screen. And as you select another tool, and you saw me select single select, and the whole blade illuminated. So I kind of intentionally selected the wrong tool, because then if you go down to the box tool, trying to make sure that you're drawing the right shape or the right perimeter for, in this case, for oxidation, the box tool is more appropriate. So within a few seconds, you've seen me draw essentially, or highlight and generate area measurements for missing material and oxidation very, very quickly, without having to manually select all of those cursors that you're perhaps used to doing if you're doing it in the traditional area measurement sort of workflow. So moving on from auto area, this is real 3D stereo, Li3D Stereo, sorry, not real 3D stereo. So moving away from obviously auto area, Li3D Stereo is a new capability that enables you to generate a point cloud live on your screen. So this was a video. It kind of moved on a little bit now. As I'm talking, it might loop back. So as you're moving and navigating your probe through the engine or your asset that you're inspecting, you can, if it's activated, generate a point cloud live on your screen. It's designed such that when you process and move into the measurement state, as you can see on this video showing now, you have much greater confidence that you've generated, or you will generate, an appropriate point cloud for the measurement that you want to process. Rather than moving into the measurement state, into the freeze frame measurement state, because this is real 3D stereo as opposed to real, as opposed to 3D phase measurement, you'll be able to generate that point cloud immediately because it corresponds to the point cloud that you have in the live state. So let me press a few buttons and switch to my borescope. There we go. So let me take you through some examples now on the borescope. So if I just select one of these images that I've prepared for this demonstration. So this is the trailing edge of a nozzle guide vane. You can see straight away the area of thermal barrier coating loss, TBC loss. So this is a 3D phase measurement image. So if I press measurement, you can see if I just highlight it here. So we've positioned the new tile next to area, or the next one along from area, called auto area. Tap the button, a few seconds to process the image, and you're immediately offered the option associated with which tool you want to use. So I've just pressed single select, auto select, and you now have the option to basically move that single cursor around the screen. So I've just moved it, obviously, a slight amount. So if I just move it to perhaps another part. So you can see it kind of illuminating and highlighting different parts of the image. And auto select, allows you to rapidly segment that area with one cursor. And it's great to use in areas of high contrast. So there's clearly high contrast between where there is barrier coating and where there is not barrier coating. If I wanted to, if I go to page 2 and press delete cursor and move to auto box. So this is where one cursor is the top left and the second cursor is the bottom right of a box. And that's where it's basically going to process just the area within the region of interest selected or highlighted by the box. I didn't need to use this function, but I'm just kind of showing you the difference between here. And if I want to add, I'll go to another image and add some more areas, but that's, if I press done now, you can see straight away, you've got the split 2D view on the left and the point cloud on the right. And within just a few seconds, you've generated an area measurement. And you can see that it hugs the perimeter, in this case of the defect, very, very well. Such that in a way, if you were doing it manually, it would not be as precise as those positions. And you're limited to 25 cursor points as well. So depending on how many points you wanted to put on, you might exceed or want to exceed that threshold. So let's go back to turbine blade. So I'm just going to talk through the video clip that you saw earlier, but a little bit slower. So I've selected auto box, and what I'm going to do is scan and determine the area of the missing material first, as opposed to oxidation first, because by trial and error, you'll realize that it's better to work in the center and work your way out. And as you work your way out, the areas of the resultant defects that surround the inner area doesn't overlap. So the area for oxidation is not including the area for missing material. So I've drawn a box around the first area of missing material, press tools, press box again, and now draw 2 boxes around the 2 areas of missing material. Let me make an adjustment because that doesn't, there we go, that looks a bit better for me. So if I'm happy with that, I go to tools again, and I'll select auto add in error, just to really kind of show you that it's not picking up the oxidation, because it's illuminating the whole leading edge of this turbine blade. So I'm going to remove that cursor and add a box. So I've selected box again. And now actually, I don't want to do that. I made an error. Let's delete that area and go. I'll just press no to that. I'm going to delete that cursor. And then I'm going to add an area. I meant to press add an area. So the reason why I'm wanting to do an add area, because I'm generating an area for oxidation in this case, as opposed to missing material. So that's why you can add areas up to 5 separate areas. Or you can keep adding discrete areas by pressing the tools box and adding more boxes, for example, and that will contribute to the 8mm area measurement that you see in the top left-hand side. But because I selected auto area, I've now generated a second area, a discrete area measurement. So I'm now manipulating my box and wanting it to highlight the area for oxidation in this case. Once you're happy with that, you saw me earlier press done, and I want to just highlight to you that auto area is generating an area in terms of the best fit plane. So here you can see it's obviously a highly curved surface being the leading edge of a turbine blade, and it doesn't generate an area conforming to the surface of the blade itself, because the logic for the traditional area measurement also uses best fit plane. So we've applied the same measurement logic. So if you were to do this exact same area measurement with the same, shall we say, perimeter with the traditional area measurement, you will get the same area result, rather than a different area result if we applied a different logic. So just to make you aware that this is generating a best fit plane, just like the traditional area measurement. And well, I've got another, let's just show you the process associated with nozzle guide vane. So you can see 3 areas of oxidation here. So go into measurement, auto area. Let's go to auto add, and you can see actually there is sufficient contrast for auto single point add to segment that area of oxidation on the leading edge here. So I'm going to go and press add area. Let's go to auto box. I'm going to draw a box around this area. Go to auto box again with a 3rd area measurement. So, and then I'm going to draw it down here. So within a few seconds, you can see I've got 3 discrete area measurements. I could have combined them as one if I wanted to, but because I pressed add area, I've now gone to 3. Just as a reminder, I could have gone all the way up to 5. And now if I go into tools and select arrays, now next time I touch on the screen, I'm going to be able to basically manually draw and select areas that I want to remove from a measurement. So you can see the magnification window shown in the top right hand side. So with my finger or with my joystick, if I use my thumb on the joystick, I'll be able to manually move it. Or if you had a stylus, which sometimes I use as well, you can draw and manipulate your cursors with a stylus. So that's if you wanted to fine tune, for instance, your perimeter so that your area measurement is more appropriate. That's if you needed to. Didn't really need to in this instance, but I'm really just showing you that as a feature. And if I pressed, and so the erase tool doesn't appear until you've generated the first area measurement. So if I went into draw mode, as you'll appreciate, unlike is the inverse of essentially erase, so you can manually draw on a and touch up or increase an area, for instance, if you needed to. So if I go to page 2, delete area. Actually, I'll just press no to that. So anyway, so that's auto area. Let's go back to my live screen. So this is my live screen now back on the borescope. I've got sort of moved away, obviously, from an engine kind of setting. I've got here my stereo tip fitted to my borescope. So I'll take you through Li3D Stereo now. So Li3D Stereo, if I turn it on in the image menu, press done, and move my measurement block that's sat in front of my probe, you can see on the right hand side the point cloud auto generate. So I can, as you'd expect to, you can move and manipulate your point cloud window, and as I continue to move either my probe or my component, it's showing you an update on the right hand side. So here again, got a good quality point cloud, so I have a high degree of confidence clearly that as I move into the measurement state, I will be able to process this image confidently, because I know I've got a good quality point cloud. And here's, I guess, because we've been talking about auto area, I thought it would be more appropriate to select this circle so that I can do an area measurement. So if I just press auto add and just really demonstrate to you that the auto area works as well for the real 3D stereo tips as well. So here, generated 2 different areas, see the measurement results plus the total area on the left-hand side. Again, within a few seconds, you've got yourself an area measurement, or several area measurements, up to 5, in fact. Okay, let's go back. Let's carry on. Okay. Let's move on to turning tools. So we released two-way turning tool communication with the Rinstyle Future Drive NG Plus system earlier this year at the point of launching MViQ Plus. Now with OS version 4.10 for 410, we're now enhancing that communication protocol between our two devices such that we're able to perform much more control using the borescope. As a reminder, just briefly, this is a feature that is applicable to the Rinstyle Future Drive system. That's a schematic essentially of the system. The power unit is the brains of the system, and then you connect that to your hand control unit and to the motor that attaches to the adapter, which drives your HP, for instance, if you're running off the gearbox. And then when you connect it to the borescope, you have a USB lead. For some reason, my lines aren't connected properly, but you have a USB lead between power unit and video borescope. So you plug in the USB and you're now connected. So as a reminder, you need to be running OS version 4.10 on the borescope, and you also need to be running version 2.1 or above on the turning tool software. And the turning tool software is obviously managed by Rinstyle, the OEM. So please reach out to Rinstyle in terms of if you're already using the Rinstyle Future Drive system, this one, the NG Plus with the blue stripes and the blue labels on it, it is compatible and will work with this feature that I'm going to be talking to you about, but you do need to make sure that it's running at least version 2.1. So I'm not going to give you a live demonstration of it because there's so much we can talk through. So we're going to have this on a specific webinar. A lot of all this information that you're hearing from me today will go into webinars next year. But for turning tool two-way, advanced two-way, you're now going to have basically a lot more buttons on the screen, as you see on the right-hand side here. On the top of the panel, you see these 3 gauges. That's essentially telling you what blade number you're on. This is information retrieved from the turning tool. And you can see sort of this white circle and a pink sort of or orange dot. And as you move through the blades, that orange dot moves around and this white circle illuminates as opposed to a black background. And so you basically start to see this picture compile as you rotate the engine and you fill up. If you've done a full revolution, you'll see a full white circle there. If you've selected multiple revolutions in the settings of the borescope because you're looking at a blade that requires, for instance, this is basically showing 5 revolutions because there's 5 segments, and we've just done revolution number 1. And you'll be invited on the borescope to basically, it will pause and ask you to go to the next position, and then you resume the rotation and it will do a second revolution. So that's the second gauge. And the third gauge that you see there is the speed setting. So you can adjust the speed by going into the settings and selecting the appropriate speed that is permitted by the turning tool for that given engine type and that given stage. Because those speed settings, the maximum speed settings, is not a fixed entity. It's dependent on the engine type and stage that you're inspecting. Then all of the other buttons that you see on this panel are pretty self-explanatory in terms of moving to the next blade or the previous blade, or if you press the central position, the central play position, you'll be able to do automatic revolution. This isn't showing you everything because this is in automatic mode, symbolizing by the letter A and mode. If I tap that screen, it will go into manual mode or it will go into flag mode. So there's auto, manual, and flag modes. And so you're able to manipulate the blades that you're inspecting either in either of those three modes, and those buttons allow you to either go to the next blade if you're in the automatic mode, or if you're in the manual mode, it will just jog to, until you stop pressing the button. So you'll be able to do manual jog, or if you're in the flag mode, you'll be able to go to the next flagged image, or next flagged blade, sorry, or the previous flagged blade if you press the other button. And there's also, with that sort of fan icon, you'll be able to press that button and basically stop rotating in one direction, and it will start rotating in the other direction. So there's a lot there that we're going to take you through in a separate webinar, and this is now part of OS 4.10. And yeah, very much conscious there's a lot of information, a lot of buttons here. So if you press this little sort of minimize button, you then are revealed, you just get the gauge appearing on the bottom of your screen. So it's a much smaller footprint that you see on the bottom of the screen to allow you to basically concentrate and focus on the inspection that you're doing rather than be hampered by all these buttons. So that's turning tool, advanced two-way. Moving on to voice. Again, as part of the MViQ Plus that was launched earlier this year, we have voice command capability. It was launched with US American English. Now it's going to understand me a lot more because it understands English UK, English Australian, and English Indian. But also, a big part of this release is making sure it works with other languages, and so it's now compatible and will be directed by French and German languages as well. In addition to all those language and dialect supports, we're now able to tell it more things, because there's much more commands that it's now capable of doing in terms of accessing the menus, performing all the measurement types, including the ones that we're talking about here today, through voice. You're able to present the keyboard to start annotation. It won't do the annotation for you, but if you say, hey mentor, I've actually muted my probe so it doesn't start waking up. But if you said, hey mentor, start annotation, the keyboard illuminates straight with you. And yeah, accessing and logging into inspection works. There's news there, and we can be able to sort of command that to start straight away. So it's a really useful way of getting to where you need to be within one verbal command, rather than interacting and pressing on the screen or buttons multiple times. And another important aspect of voice command feature is noise cancellation. We obviously recognize this as industrial equipment. You're using it in settings that has lots of background noise, and we've significantly enhanced the capability such that it will recognize your voice and your command a lot more than it did in the past, such that it will work even in noisy environments. So that's a big aspect of improving this feature. So that's voice commands. Some words now on menu directed inspection. So MDI has been around for many, many years. It's had a significant update earlier this year in terms of MDI Builder, which is the software that generates the template that allows you to do standardized inspections on the borescope. So MDI Builder is again being updated to version 4.10. That enables these following things to happen in terms of you're able now to include files into your template that allow automatic overlays be generated on your screen when you get to certain stages within your inspection. Again, I'll be demonstrating this in a webinar. This allows you to get to a standardized position very, very quickly, because you'll have the ability to automatically activate what we call image overlays on the borescope. And so MDI Builder has that facility now, so you'll be able to include overlays into your template such that you or your team, your inspectors, for instance, will be able to generate inspections from standardized and recognized views. Another aspect here, you see me talk about or mentioned drop-down field entries. So when you start an MDI, you're tapping in text manually on the keyboard. So you type in your name, you type in your site, you type in your serial number, and all this is manual text. And it was quite clear to us from one of our customers that some mistakes were being made by manually entering this text into the fields. Why does that matter? It's because a lot of this data is centralized and stored centrally and can be searched for, especially if you're using our platform Inspection Works. And if you're searching for inspections that contain mistakes within the text, then those inspections might not be found, for instance, in search criteria. So we now have the ability within MDI to have these drop-down menus. So if you're a team of 10, you can have all of your names or your numbers, your identity numbers, for instance, as drop-down fields. And your customers can be drop-down fields. There could be single select entries and multi-select entries rather than manually typing in text into the inspection details section. So again, this is all about improving the repeatability and the quality and indeed the speed of performing that part of the workflow. And MDI merge. MDI merge, as the name suggests, allows you to merge 2 or more inspections from the same MDI inspection template. So if you were on the first shift, in the morning shift, doing a part of the engine, and the second shift picks up and continues doing their inspection of different stages as they continue through an engine inspection process, for instance, and generate their own MDI inspection. At the end of that inspection, after however many inspections or however many shifts, all of that individual data can be merged into one. So this is a video of me actually having done 2 inspections and then processing those 2 to form one inspection into one. Is it going to show? I think it's done it, hasn't it? Yeah. So that's now capable. That's also capable on the Mentor Flex that came out, I think, last year or maybe earlier this year. And it's also available in Inspection Works. And now we have it on the MViQ Plus. So at this point, I'll hand you over to Madeline.
Megan.
Megan. Different M.
You and Tom Ward both do this.
Yeah.
I hope everyone is excited as we are about the OS4.1 launch. The software update will be available for download in January. If you already have one of our measurement bundles or an MViQ Plus Pro, you'll have access to the new software that's relevant to your bundle upon that download. If you want to try out the new features before you buy or before you upgrade to a new bundle, we also offer 90-day trials. If you own a gray or flame MViQ and would like to take advantage of this new software update and all of the other improvements that make the MViQ Plus the best borescope platform in the world, we will give you credit for your old equipment and will transfer your data and calibrate your tips for you before shipping it out. We offer trade-ins for both the handsets and the probes to help you take advantage of the new and improved steering, warm swap battery, and so much more. We also will continue to release software for this product, and the MViQ Plus is the only way to get it. Next, I'd like to quickly highlight some of the options we have to help you reduce your cost of ownership. Waygate Technologies offers different ways of buying your borescope to minimize total cost of ownership and reduce the hassle of repairs during the life of your equipment. We offer both service-only agreements and leasing plans that can help you take advantage of the MViQ Plus while minimizing the disruption of any ongoing maintenance required. All of our service plans help lower maintenance spend and make it more predictable over time. Our customers also experience less downtime due to a streamlined repair process with less paperwork on both sides. There's significantly less administrative work, which everyone appreciates. We have a contract management team that will help you get the full value of the agreement and ensure that the agreement is meeting all of your needs. With the service plan, you also have access to additional discounts on accessories, upgrades, and more. All of our service agreement options can be customized to your specific needs depending on your application, inspection demand, and preferences. These agreements are paid over time, allowing for easier budget planning. And the swap to MViQ Plus can be included in these agreements. We have a recent example of a customer doing just that. They wanted access to the new software only available on MViQ Plus and did so through a service agreement to leverage OpEx. In the interest of time, we'll move on to answer your questions, but we wanted to make everyone aware of all the options. We hope you all are excited about OS4.10, which will be available January 2025. Additional information can be found on our website. We'd also love if everyone could take a few minutes to fill out a very short survey to help us tailor our future events. I believe the link is also in the comments. Now, if there's any questions, we can move on to those.
Thank you, Megan. Sorry about that earlier.
It's okay. Getting used to it.
Let's pause for a while. Hopefully you found this interesting. You're excited with what's coming. Again, it's coming out in January, so it's not yet available. We're nearly there. If you've got any questions, now's a good time. Otherwise, yeah, either reach out to us individually or through LinkedIn or through email. But yeah, if you can fill out and participate in that survey, that would be fantastic also. Let's just wait a few seconds. Okay, yeah, and if there's nothing else, then by all means, please click on the link for our website. We'll put that into the comment section. We've got our website is now live with this information, the brochure to the device and supplementary reference materials. Some of it has been generated, but not the latest, not all of it, is coming out soon, but the website is live with these new features. So please do click on and learn more there. But thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And we'll see you.
One more question.
Oh, have we got a question? Yeah, excellent. So Peter, yes, you're asking whether everything I've just talked about with Turning Tool is only applicable to the Rinstyle Future Drive NG+, and the answer is yes. Thank you, Pavel. Okay, thank you for joining. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.